Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this podcast, Fits Your Macros. It's been a minute. How are you, Ryan?
I'm good. Ryan. How many minutes has it been? Have you kept track?
Oh, God, I don't want to do the math. I'm not a math person, but it's been, I would say, probably over 1,000 for sure. I don't know.
Over 1,000 minutes. I wonder how long 1,000 minutes is.
525.
It's definitely been it's been a minute, but And you know what? We should just stop telling the audience at this point that that's going to change because things just happen in our lives, folks. We do this podcast for, what could we call it? Extracurricular activity is this podcast, right? Like we both have our day-to-day, our clients, we train, everything else. And so sometimes every now and then, we get a little behind, but we're back. No promises, but we're here and we got a pretty kick-ass episode. What's the topic of the day here, Caileen?
I don't know what we decide the short name for it, but we're talking about training tiers, what to expect, and your intensity levels at the gym when you're a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So it's going to be a good one, a little bit off of like the normal nutrition that we do. But as you know, like nutrition and training are like, king and queen together. They get you the best results. So we'll go over.
They go hand in hand. And, we got to expand the show, you guys, audience out here. So if you guys have ideas, things you want us to go, because me and Caileen, we keep stumping ourselves now, looking at, what are we going to do for this? Because we've done, how many years? I don't even know. It's been years of doing this show now, right?
Yeah, like at least 3. I remember the first episode I literally recorded sitting on my bedroom, on my bed in the bedroom with my laptop on my dresser, and now we're all like legit and shit. Look at that.
Yeah. So it was definitely a lot of topics in that timeline. So we want you guys' ideas, but first we're gonna bring it into more of the training realm too. Start doing more content about training and how you guys can really figure out your training, because obviously that is a huge formula. And we have stayed exclusively to a lot of nutrition info on this. And again, we also do have another show coming. So a lot of jumble coming at you guys, but we'll get there. Caileen, today, do you have is it worth the macros for us?
Yes. And let me tell you, I have been waiting a long time for this because, we took a little hiatus to the point where I had to put a sticky note that says, I don't know if you can read it.
It says, what does it say?
The rest are mine, Dad, because Bradley Walker and my daughter, to be honest, are very big Oreo fiends. So we have the mint chip Oreo, not to be confused with the mint Oreo, which is delicious, one of my top 5 flavors. But, apparently it's mint chip flavors. It smells really good. I've been smelling them, but I saved myself for you guys, so you're welcome. Serving size is 2 cookies or 29 grams, 6 grams of fat, 21 grams of carbs, less than 1 gram of protein. Let's try it out. Ooh, I saved myself 4 cookies. I might not eat them all. They're probably stale by now, to be honest.
How long have you been saving this?
My husband was one who picked them out, actually, and he did that probably like a month ago. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
They've been sitting there.
That's been some hard discipline for you in this off-season, improvement season, right?
For me, for my daughter. My daughter's like, when are you going to freaking eat the cookies?
When are you going to eat these?
And she's like, Mom, you're torturing me. I'm like, just we'll podcast one day.
We're training.
Yes, we're training.
Discipline.
All right. Let's try this out. It's got little speckles in it. This will never focus on it, but it's got little speckles. Yeah. There we go. Definitely on the staler side. But that's our own fault.
Or maybe it came stale. We'll never know. We'll never know the answer to that.
Oreos usually never go stale in my house, let me tell you that. But it's good. Just as good as the mint Oreo, in my opinion. So buy it if you like mint chocolate things.
It's no different.
Not really. The cracker looks different, but besides that, it would be good in a mint chocolate chip ice cream too.
Yeah, so this is a theory I have about Oreos, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I haven't eaten Oreos in a very long time, but I know you are basically an Oreo aficionado at this point. Do they all taste the damn same? Okay, because I see in the Oreo aisle, because it's right next to like where the eggs are in my store. For some reason, I don't know. My eggs are not like on the outside. They're in like the cracker Oreo aisle. So
what the fuck?
I know, it's weird. So one side is like eggs and dairy and butter, and the other side is Oreoville. And every time I look over, I'm like, there's like 400 different Oreos in this damn store. But they all can't be that different. I see one that's like peanut butter, and then this one's like peanut butter and chocolate chips. This one's like peanut butter with Crispies and chocolate chips.
Peanut butter pie.
Yeah, and I'm like, these all got to taste the dang same. Come on.
No, they're a little bit different. The peanut butter pie has like the golden Oreo on the outside, so it's not as chocolatey. Okay. Very delicious, though. Very good. And the other one is like the chocolate cracker with peanut butter filling inside. Also good, but I think I like peanut butter pie a little bit more. Oh, actually, peanut butter pie, like the cream, it's like half chocolate, half peanut butter.
So you're telling me they all literally taste different? Because every time I see this, I'm like, they just added confetti to this one or some shit. You know, like this isn't the. They're all some different. Of them do taste the same. Like they had the 4th of July one that like tasted regular, but then they put like Pop Rocks in it, and that was fun. Like little tiny Pop Rocks. Yeah. And they like crackled in your mouth. But yeah, I mean. I don't know. It's crazy. But okay, so what's your rating for this one?
I mean, I'd rate them an 8. I think they're on par with like the mint Oreos, which I think taste exactly like a Thin Mint, which is one of like used to be one of my favorite cookies. I feel like the Girl Scout cookies have gone downhill lately, so I actually prefer the mint Oreos over Girl Scout cookies. That might be a little sacrilege.
Girl Scout cookies, get your work together. Kayleen is telling you've gone down in quality.
I feel like a boomer because I'm like, man,
you can't sponsor our show if you don't have good cookies.
And the taste is just going down. This is what America is now.
Oh man, yeah, it's like the Great Depression for cookies right now.
I am depressed about it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Wait. Yeah. So that was what I was going to ask you too. It's the macros the same for Girl Scout cookies versus these Oreos. Probably not the same. Similar. You don't know.
I don't know. All Oreos are.
You don't need an accurate. Similar. We don't need like scientific data here. Just like a guess. Similar. You don't know? Any idea?
I bet. Well, so Oreos are only 2 cookies per serving, and Thin Mints are 4 cookies per serving for the Thin Mints. But the Tagalongs are only 2 cookies per serving. So I mean. You get more bang for your buck if you do a Thin Mint, but that's a thinner cookie too. So lots of variables. Lots of variables.
See, so you guys can tell Caileen is definitely a cookie aficionado. This is why she is a macro queen.
Or I just track macros like a motherfucker. Exactly.
That's the same thing. But you wouldn't know the cookie macros if you didn't eat the cookies. That's the interesting piece about it. But yeah, you guys give us your suggestions. Tell us more things that Caileen should try. Do you have other things on your list, Caileen? Are you kind of... Is the well drying up over there?
I mean, there's always possibilities. Let's be real. I can just start experimenting. Oh, you know what I saw is like Taco Bell. I don't know if I missed it or what, but they're having like the 20th anniversary of the Baja Blast. Did you see everything that they're doing with that?
No, I have not.
They're like making Baja Blast everything, like a Baja Blast gelato and different things that you'll be able to get at Taco Bell. But I think you do have to be a member of the app. And I think I rage deleted the app that one time that I've talked about at Taco Bell when I tried to get it for pickup and they wouldn't get the door open during COVID. So I'll have to see.
You can only get it at Taco Bell?
You can only get it at Taco Bell during a specific time. And you have to have the Taco Bell app. You got to be one of their
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, you may have to do it. This is a service you have to do. Do for our people, for the audience, you must.
I will say as a service to the audience, and I'm sure if you are a Baja Blast person, you already know this, but you can buy a diet Baja Blast in the store. Now, I used to be a giant diet soda, fanatic, bitch, I don't know. So I don't drink as much diet soda anymore. But if you are someone who's looking to scale down from the full octane stuff, as I call it, to, diet. The diet Baja Blast is pretty damn good, if I remember correctly.
I just, it's funny you say this because I just saw Diet Baja Blast somewhere, maybe Costco or it could have been Sam. It was probably at Sam's Club because Sam's Club. Like Sam's Club.
Did you convert to Sam's Club?
No, I get bored, so I'm like, hey, you know what? Instead of going to my regular Costco, I'll go to Sam's today. And then I go and there's nothing there. I'm like, oh, shit.
I rage quit Costco.
Sam's, we will not seek sponsorship from. But Costco, hey, anybody working at Costco listening, You want to throw down?
I take a Sam's membership like that, man. I started shopping at there because I can't deal with the crowds at Costco. I just want.
Oh, you're at Sam's?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
I've been for like 2 years now.
Definitely not. Only there or both?
Only.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, my Sam's sucks. Literally, because like I eat one of these things, you never eat this because I see your macros, but one of the things I eat a lot is like salami and like, charcuterie boards and things like that, right?
I did get into that. Did you just call it a charcuterie?
Yeah. I'd like it's an ongoing joke.
Okay. I'm like, okay. My cousin used to call it a charcuterie board, but that's,
Yeah, exactly. I think everybody just has their own, joke names for it.
Yeah.
But I definitely eat that. So wait, you're eating that now?
I was back in gain season. I was like, oh fuck, salami with some mozzarella cheese. Let me get these fats. Good. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, it's fucking good. Yeah. So it's anyway, but I get salami, though. Right? And I get it at Sam's sometimes. Hey, depends where you get it from. I wouldn't go as bad as Lunchable, right? Like
it's an adult
the Italian
Lunchable.
Imported stuff is not.
I'm not
the
saying
Italian
the quality's
imported
low.
pieces are not too bad.
I'm just telling you what's a Lunchable for kids. It's slices of meat. I said I'm not saying it's just a higher quality adult Lunchable. Because,
Yeah, definitely. Well, it is great. But either way, my Sam's salami, terrible though. Every time I look at it, I'm like, well, who's working here? It's all moldy. You know what? We should actually just get to the point of the podcast. So as you guys can tell, we've been off the game here. We're talking about moldy salami at Sam's Club right now.
We haven't chatted IRL
let me just finish
months.
That point. I just gotta finish that point because this blows my mind, right? Because obviously we do a lot of work as trainers, Team Flex, all this stuff that we do. So I'm at Sam's, right? I'm looking at the salami because I'm like, all right, cool. What do they got here? And they do get some good Italian imported salami sometimes, which I am Italian, so I enjoy, as we explained. Caileen says adult Lunchable, whatever. I don't care. I like it. And I'm looking and like, I'm seeing some of these salamis, right, and moving a couple packs here and there because I never take that front one. I just don't trust that front pack of anything in the store. I'm like, this one's been exposed to whatever. It's not getting the same level of temperature. It's, whoever touched it, who knows what just happened to that, whatever product it is. So
it might have rode in a cart for 20 minutes and then put back, ew.
Yeah, exactly. Or somebody like grabbed that one, threw it away in the socks somewhere, and then some employee found it and brought it back and put, who knows? But
I never thought about that. Thanks for that now.
That, you know what? I see it every day. Sometimes you see the moments when somebody made a different decision with their budget, like at Costco and Sam's. It's hilarious. Yesterday, I was literally at Sam's and I saw somebody had like a whole party wings of chicken wings, right? Like, like the raw kind that's just ready in season that you can take and cook or whatever. And somebody left that in the aisle where they had like brownie bites or something. So like somebody was going through, they had their chicken wings and they saw the brownie bites and they're like, you know what? I'm not going to eat these chicken wings. I'm getting brownie bites. And they just left it. But anyway, I'm cycling through the salami, right? And I look and it's just full gray, like grayed out. And then the next one is totally covered in mold. And I'm like, who the hell is working here? And then I look to my right and there's an employee who's stocking things right there. And I'm like, nobody's looked at this? And then, what's crazy is I saw the same thing 2 weeks before that. So it may be the same ones. I don't know. But either way, it blows my mind, the lack of people's intensity with taking care of salami. It's very important to me, and it's clearly not to the rest of the world. So,
yeah, man, it does sound like your Sam sucks.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, you know what? Apparently you got the Sam's potluck. The Sam's lottery has been won by you.
Yay.
There you go. That's good. All right. Well, that was a lot of bullshit. Let's get down to the
bullshit. 14 minutes of bullshit.
The nitty. I mean, we're 15 minutes in and we haven't even talked about the topic. Thanks for being here, guys. We love you. Make sure you subscribed and you're following along. We'll have less bullshit in the future, but probably not. All right. So training intensity is what we're going to talk about today, and really how to know you're getting a good workout, because this is a question me and Caileen get all the time. We're both coaching people. We've been coaching a long time. Now Caileen's, been coaching a good chunk of how long you been coaching now, Caileen, at this point?
8 years now. I feel like
there you go.
7 or 8 years. It's crazy.
There you go. Long time. So, I'm longer than that, but hey, one day I'll quit and Caileen will continue and she'll beat me in that realm. But the point is, either way, one of the most common things you get is, right, like, how do you know you're maximizing your time in the gym to actually get a good workout? And you're not just going in and going through the motions and coming out and wondering why you're not seeing progress, right? Because that is one of the single biggest issues. And nobody wants to waste time in the gym. I don't want to waste time in the gym. Caileen doesn't want to waste time in the gym. I guarantee you, anybody listening here that is not a trainer and doesn't do this for a living or also a competitor, right? You want to spend even less time in the gym, or at least know that the time you spend in the gym is exactly what you need to get where you want to be. And so that does really come down a lot to intensity and knowing, how when you've reached the threshold where you're going to get the most out of it, because you really can't underdo it and you really also can overdo it, right? Like if you do either one of those, you're going to be screwed. If you're not doing enough, you're not getting good progress. If you do too much, you're not going to get good progress. So you really got to find that sweet spot in that zone. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about today and really just highlight a couple different types of people, and we'll kind of group some groups up. But hopefully by the end of the episode, you have a better idea of how to structure, your intensity in the gym to make sure you are really maximizing on that progress. So Caileen, give me the first one. What's the first type of person that's going to, need to track their intensity?
So the absolute newbie to the gym is probably wondering like, hey, I've been thinking about this for a while. I want to get on my shit finally. What should I expect at the gym? And we have a lot of people coming to us like brand new, and it's really exciting because as a new lifter, there is so much potential for you. Like your body is not going to take it doesn't need a lot of stimulus or a lot of, work to create a massive stimulus, because anything you do to the body, if you've just been sitting on the couch forever or sitting at your desk and like not really moving a lot, it's going to shock the system. So when you go to the gym, like you are not going to be needing to do like 50 kettlebell swings, superset with 25 burpees to get a result. Like that's going to crush your soul, first of all, and you're never going to want to come back. And that's the thing that happens, I feel like, to a lot of people who will go to a gym. If the trainer is shit, like you walk into a gym and you're like, hey, it's my first time. Can you take me for the train? And like some trainers just pride themselves in crushing these people and crushing their souls. And, I've been there before too in the group fitness world. Sometimes like I taught intense ass classes, and you tell people like, hey, things are going to get intense. I will show you modifiers. Like feel free to take them, but like nobody ever does. Like people are meatheads. But anyway, so if you're brand new to the gym, like just start with the basics. You might not even need a single weight on you. Sometimes things that's like body weight squats, body weight lunges, even just going for a walk might get enough stimulus to start you in your, weight loss journey or in your muscle gaining journey. But, I know even at like, the Planet Fitnesses, they have that little circuit of machines, and some people will just go and crank a couple reps there and make it through. And for someone who's just starting out in the gym, that might be like a really great thing to do. But like, it doesn't have to be super complicated when you're starting out, and it doesn't have to be a lot of weight either. We want you to be able to walk tomorrow, the next day, because if you're sore for 3 days after your first leg day, you're going to feel pretty defeated and you're not going to want to continue that. That being said, if you do get super sore your first week to 2 weeks, if you keep going, you will eventually not get as sore, and that's because you're continually supplying that stimulus and your body's adjusting to it. So it's all about, like, the theme of the day will be adaptation of the body, and I could go on for hours about that, but I will table it to you to add on whatever you would like to add to that.
Yeah, so what I would say is all of that is great. The main thing, in my opinion, when you're a beginner, is you need to be able to create a new habit. That's really what it becomes. So it's less about, maximizing your intensity in the gym and much more about getting to the gym and actually just being able to do that consistently. And like Caileen said, if you go in, you get wrecked, the last thing you will want to do is go to the gym again. I mean, this can test even for people that have been doing this for years. If I give Caileen a workout, right? Because for those new listeners, I coach Caileen in her training and build her all the things she hates me for. But, if I give her a workout that really totally wrecks her, she will still show up out of the rest of the week because of her discipline. but she will not enjoy it. Okay. She will not like it. And especially in the beginning, right? When you're starting from basically zero, or you haven't done it in a long time, and, you don't have a high level of fitness or discipline at that point, it really does become about getting to the gym, building that habit, and getting to the point where it just becomes something you do every day as part of your routine, or, 3 times a week, whatever it is, but it's part of your routine and you become consistent with it. So in my opinion, in the beginning, right, like I haven't coached in the gym in years, but when I would always get a new client, it was really a few weeks of figuring out what that client is doing, where they're at, what their actual level of fitness is, and bringing them repeatedly into the world where you can break down the barrier of the thought that, a lot of people starting too could be starting from a huge place of, a mega deficit, not in the sense of calorie deficits, but like they have 200 pounds to lose. They got 100 pounds to lose. They got 50 pounds to lose. They have some big goal. They have something that they want to build muscle, but they have zero muscle. They're not starting from a good spot. So it's going to be very hard and a long journey. And they already know that, right? Like people is, you can say whatever you want about people's level of smartness, if you will, right? But people are not dumb enough to know, right? If you haven't been doing stuff for all this time, then it's not going to be easy to go and do it at this point. So really, I think at the beginning, it doesn't even become about intensity as much as it does just creating a habit. So like if you're looking for a marker as somebody who's just starting, you should go to the gym, do whatever exercise. Maybe you have a coach, maybe you don't, maybe you get a trainer, maybe you don't, whatever. Maybe you just want to go play around. That's fine too. I think that's a great part of fitness, especially in the beginning and even in the later times, right? Like hopefully Caileen has fun going to the gym. Hopefully I have fun going to the gym, even though the things we do are miserable. Oh, right? Like they're hard.
A sadist? I don't
and
know.
They suck. I don't know. Like, yeah, I just did weight vest cardio before this podcast. I don't even have any reason to do that. Like, what is wrong with me? But hey, I think it's kind of fun. I think it's kind of fun, right? So,
it is.
But that's the thing, but if you're not there yet and you hear that and you're like, these people are fucking whack jobs, okay, great. Go to the gym, play around, find some machines you like, do whatever, go for 20 minutes and, walk out. And the goal should be you created that habit. You showed up, you went, you did the workout and you left and you feel good and you will do it again tomorrow. You will do it again in 2 days. You'll do it again next week, whatever it is. And once you do that, in that beginning zone for, let's say 1 to 3 months, and you really start getting your habit down and you're going in, you may not be seeing the progress you want at that point because the intensity hasn't been there as much, but you've built the habit now to where you could go to the next level, which is basically what I would call, intermediate, right? Caileen, would that be what you would call next? Like, let's say somebody who's not brand new, but somebody who has, they have a goal clearly now. Their goal has become more redefined, because I do find that's true as well, right? Like a lot of times people's goals continue to advance up a ladder. They start with, okay, I need to get to the gym. Then they get to the gym. Now they're like, okay, now I might need to lose 20 pounds, So more of the intermediate group that is more focused on their goals and really wants to start seeing more progression. What do you think for them?
Yeah. So at this point, I think if you've been consistent in your beginning journey, I think you owe it to yourself to hire a coach. I understand it's not available for everybody, but having someone to guide you through all these different things, and especially with our training app is great for progressive overload, but like all great coaches have coaches, all great athletes have coaches. Like for me, it's just like astounding how some people will just be like, I've been working out for whatever. I think I've got it. Like, having a coach is integral. But anyway, if you didn't want to hire a coach, what you really want to focus on is the progressive overload, because for a lot of us, the goal is to build muscle. Some of them, like whether it's losing fat along the process or not, some of us are also gaining muscle and fat, which is fine, whatever. Yeah. But that's going to need a different level of intensity, because of course, when we started, we could do these little short workouts with less intensity and we would still get some results, but your body is meant to adjust to whatever stress you put on it, right? So the second it stops feeling stressed out, like your body, if you do a hard leg workout and you're sore after, your body's gonna be like, what the fuck was that? Like, I was not prepared for that. I am going to build some more muscle so that the next time that this bitch tries to do that again, I'm going to be ready for that. And I'm not going to be apocalyptically sore for 3 days. So when we're at these, like, baby weights, doing those 5-pound Arnold presses, like, yes, that will start to get a stimulus, but after a while, it's not going to work. You're going to have to increase. So if you don't have a tracking app, you definitely want to be tracking it somehow, your weights, because I can tell you right now, we got too many things in our heads. So we're not going to remember, like, oh, for lat pull down, I was at here last time for 12.
Yeah.
You're not going to remember it. You need to start tracking it in some way, shape, or form, whether that's a coaching app, whether it's a training app, whether it's pen and paper. Do you track on pen and paper, or do you? I don't know. I don't know if you probably don't even use the app, but I use the app, obviously. But how do you track your shit?
I actually do track mine mentally, but that's just because I've reached my top threshold for so fucking long that there's just not much to increase on. So, my deadlift is at 650 pounds. It's always going to be around there, and I really can't get to 700 or 7, so like, it just sucks. But for the most part, I was going to
say, do you even do anything besides deadlifting, or is it just deadlifting? If you only have
exactly,
one move to know, then it's easier.
One move to rule them all. No, actually, I do reverse tracking though. Now that you mention it, because since I know approximately where my maxes are, I do a lot of my lifts based on percentages of those. Mm-hmm. So if I'm doing, like, let's say I'm doing deadlifts, since that's the only lift I do, right?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do, let's say 5, I'll work a percentage off of whatever, which our app can't do. Maybe we can get it to do that eventually, but
it actually can.
Just like a percentage tracker?
Yeah, it does.
Where? Oh man, I got to make myself an account.
It's because you don't train. If you actually click the move and you swipe through, it will tell you like what your 1 rep max is and like, the different percentages.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I mean like an actual percentage calculator though, where you can just punch in the weight total.
No,
right? Like I have one where you can just put, okay, here's your max weight, and then it'll say, here's 95, here's 92, here's which we should be able to get that in there if it's not in there. But yeah, you guys go check out our app, because apparently it does things that I'm not even aware of, which is hilarious. But Caileen, that's what I got Caileen for. But either way, yeah, that's how I do it. So if I got a higher rep I want to hit, I work it off of that. And either way, though, it is definitely something where, at this more intermediate level, you need to be keeping better record of what you're doing in the gym, or you're not going to be advancing, right? Because you always hear about the newbie gains, and that's what we talked about with, the prior group of people, which everybody gets. Everybody will get that to a varying degree. It's like one of the best. I would almost say it goes beginner mode, newbie gains mode, and then intermediate land, right? Because after you're done being a beginner, you start thinking you're a badass in the gym. You're like, oh yeah, lat pull downs, I'm gonna fly away. My wings getting so big and all this, right? And then you're like, what the hell happened? Nothing's working no more. The progress has shut off, and my weights aren't going up. Nothing's, This is when you got to get more strict about your training. So definitely, at least, what's that?
They'll be like, oh, I'm not getting sore anymore like I used to. And it's like, well, have you upped your weights at all?
Yeah. It's like Caileen said, the body knows what you're doing. And, I'm not a huge proponent of like trying to confuse your body either, but you do have to be able to monitor the intensity and continue to push yourself harder. Hence, the weight vest cardio again, right? Like I got to add weight to myself at this point if I want to get the calorie burn that I'm aiming for. Otherwise, but also it's just miserable and fun for that reason. But,
and you should mention you have one of those like self-powered treadmills too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the weight vest cardio I've been doing, though, is on the Arc Trainer. So that is fucking terrible. But yes, I do also have a self-propelled assault runner. Yeah, it's a treadmill. Yeah, which I went to this new gym and they had like 50,000 of them, I thought, and it turns out they were fake, and they all still had electricity powering them. But mine is powered by me. I'm basically a hamster. It's what I do for my standing desk. However, nobody needs to do this. If you're listening to me, guys, this is not for you. Okay, do not look at this and be like, hey, that's what I need to be doing. Weight vest cardio. I've been doing this shit so long that I can't even look at a barbell anymore, because it's just a part of me. Every time I look at my hands, I just see a weight plate and a dumbbell and everything else. It's just how it is. You're not there yet. You don't want to be there. So just continue to track your weights. Get a coach if you want one. at least follow a program. That's what the intermediate group really needs to do. Follow a specific program. Don't change it. Do it for 3 to 6 months, minimum, straight, no changing of it, and just get good at it. Get good at your lifts. Figure out, your form. Like, you need to be looking at your form more and more and forever up from the intermediate group on, because like you got to start always doing that. I mean, Caileen, we're still working on Caileen's form. I'm still working on my form. You never really end the journey of figuring out how to do better. And that's really what this next level is, which I would call the advanced group, if we will, right? Because I guess it just makes sense to have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The advanced group is like, Caileen for the most part, right? She's a coach. She's also a bikini competitor. She's also a who knows what the hell else she wants to do.
Aerial artist.
Yeah, aerial
acrobatist.
Yeah, aerial acrobatist. That's the thing, right? And there's other people in those tiers, people that want to be in performance sports of some kind, where you have to do something at a higher level in order to get a certain result. So that's the advanced group. And this also can be advanced group for people that are not competing in something. That should be well known too, right? Like, you can be advanced. Like, this is the person that wants to be like, oh, you know what? This summer I'd like to get a 6-pack. Because that's an advanced goal, right? Like getting a general gym and following a program and losing a little bit of weight, building muscle, blah, blah, blah. Or somebody who's like, yeah, you know what? I need to be able to do whatever on this lift for this reason. So there is advanced levels of athletes and people and clients that are not just relevant to actually competing in something. But either way, this is a different type of focus. So talk a little bit, Caileen, about these types of people and what they need to look at most.
Yeah, this time we really need to dial it in. For sure, everything that has been in the other tiers needs to happen. So we need to be doing the form checks. Actually, that's part of our new one. But like, we need to be tracking our weights. We need to be progressively overloading. But like, form checks are going to be huge, because chances are you want to look a certain way or achieve a certain thing. And there's a good chance that somewhere along your journey, you have come and developed these improper lifting patterns. I know for me personally, it happened. I got so hung up on lifting so heavy that I was prioritizing the weight on the bars versus how my form actually looked. And it, was one of many things that ended up having me take many steps back to fix issues that stemmed from that regarding my back. But now that that's all fixed, and form is always top of mind, you start to feel mind-muscle connection like you've never felt before. And for me, obviously, shoulders and glutes, I'm a bikini bitch. Those are where I'm working now. And the activation and muscle density that I felt building in my glutes since we've fixed a whole bunch of things has been insane. So more so goal focused, of course. So whatever that goal is, you're going to have little things that you're going to be wanting to focus on. So even if you're a runner, you're going to be wanting to focus on your posture while you're running, not just the mileage. You're going to be focused on your nutrition more. You're going to be focused on your breathing, I'm sure, more. Not that I'm a runner. You're going to be focusing on recovery a lot more too. So that's another added tier to this advanced, is working out as hard as you're recovering, because, at a certain point, your body's going to say, you know what, I'm over this. Fuck you. If you're not taking the proper recovery methods. And when you're lifting, if the goal is aesthetics, you want to be hitting to the point where you would not be able to do another rep with proper form. That's where you want to be. There have been so many times where I've been lifting where I'm I think I might barf. I don't barf, but it's especially for some reason, leg extensions. If I'm going to barf on one machine, it's the leg extension machine. So anyway.
If you do, please film it so we can go viral or something. Just you yakking out, just finishing the set. Don't even stop. Just keep going.
No regrets. Just straight gains. And
must finish this set. Get to eat more later. Yes.
Yeah, those macros don't count. I have to weigh my shirt to see how much, fucking barf was on there.
I'm going to strain it out into a food scale.
Okay, you took it too far. Just kidding. But yeah, basically, you want to be narrowed in on those different factors to get maximum results. And then, of course, we could dive into the whole optimization of the body in general, which, as you know, Elite Health, teamflex.com/elite health. We can go deeper dive into the body, see if there's any imbalances in either the gut or just their minerals, vitamins, all that shit, and really just have you hitting those goals nonstop. It doesn't matter what the goals are. And honestly, you don't even have to want to be an elite athlete to balance all that shit out, but that just helps. Anyway, I went on a little side tangent there.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is where I was going to go with it as well, is that, by the time you reach an advanced level, you should have the basics down. This is when we're talking about coaching. This is majority of my clients that I work with, because I don't work with a lot of beginners at this point in my career for whatever reason, but it's probably just because people are not gravitated towards me at that level anymore. But, realistically, that's the thing. I know, my people that are my clients should be able to execute the basics, meaning here's your training, here's your nutrition, go to work, do it. And the rest of everything else really does come down to optimizing above and beyond that, right? And so that's the advanced group. And when you have a very specific goal and you have something you want to execute on, it does require a very well-designed plan, and then also being able to execute it, and not just executing it, but looking at all of the other variables of your life that influence that plan. So that's kind of where you were going with elite health and stuff like that. But, most of my conversations with clients on check-ins, right, and this is for all wide variety, competitors in bodybuilding, could be people that are doing other sports or whatever types of elite athletes, if you will. And most of those conversations are not about like, oh, yeah, did you do this lift good today? It's usually much more like, how the fuck did you sleep? How was this
water intake?
When did you get up? How's the hydration? How's overall recovery? What's going on with this? Where are we at with that? I'm looking at the metrics. I'm looking at the stats. Obviously, we get to see weights and all that, which becomes important. But really, you start to look at every other area too, because, when you're at the advanced level and you can execute on a plan, you can execute on a workout, and it's just part of your day. It's just part of what you do. That's the way it has to be. Then you have to look at the other areas that could be detracting from it, basically, right? The goal and achieving that, and then emphasize those areas to come here and help you with the goal. So at that level, your intensity, like Caileen said, should be pretty hardcore. You should be feeling, you should not leave the gym feeling like a beginner, where a beginner should leave the gym feeling really good and ready to come back. You should leave the gym at an advanced level feeling like you busted your ass and you're like, why did I do this? And then you question, you as you walk out, you're like, I might cancel my damn membership right now. And then you get in the car and you say, all right, I can't wait to come back. That's the level of intensity that you need to have, right? And that is how you continue to progress. And it just gets worse from there, folks. So if you get into that level, enjoy it. But also know that there's nothing wrong with being anywhere under that too. Stay a beginner as long as you want. It's an enjoyable time. I wish that I spent more time being a beginner in my journey through fitness, because it was so damn easy and I was so stupid and naive compared to what I am now to back, like I remember the first time I started like actually losing body fat. And I had no clue what I was doing, right? Because I was like, this is a long time ago, folks. I was like 14 or 15, I don't know. And I was like, oh, I got to lose some weight, whatever. And I had no clue what to do. And there was not a lot of resources back then. The internet was not very, and even bodybuilding magazines were like pretty hard to get. So I had no clue, but I was like, oh, protein shake. I think I've seen that in a TV show. And so all I did was start drinking protein shakes in addition to eating whatever the hell. And I lost weight, like what a blessing. Today, no amount of protein shakes I could drink would do shit for me. And now I hate them. So, because I know things. Now I know too many things, right? I'm like, oh, wait, but what's the content of this in there? Where was that whey source from? Was it
proprietary blend my ass?
Yeah. Are there microplastics in that? I have to go down these trains of psychosis. So enjoy being a beginner. Enjoy being an intermediate. Don't even worry about trying to get to the advanced level yet. Because it's fitness becomes a long journey. It becomes something you should do forever to enhance your life. And also in the advanced tier, we should really put a caveat there, right? Like that you can definitely, this is the tier, the advanced tier is where you can really tip the wrong way. You can really end up going too hard, too far, too crazy, and end up having to go back to tier 1 eventually, which is not the most fun way to do it, but it does happen because, Caileen, has this ever happened to you? I don't know. I don't really think it has, but let's see. Have you ever got into that mindset?
Not mindset wise, but body wise. Like when I jacked my back pretty good from being an idiot. Like I wouldn't say I had to go down to, I'd say I went down to 1.5. I was only lifting 3 days a week. We were doing very, no barbell loaded stuff. So you can only do so much without barbells. But it was very necessary. And I think it definitely helped me. It made me a better coach too. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Like everything that has happened in my life that might be seen as like bad to other people, I've embraced it because it's helped me be a better coach. And that's why, it's changed my perspective about a lot of different things. But yeah, I had to go back to basics, man. And we had, 3 rehab days, 3 lifting days where I was just, crawling around on the floor like a crazy woman on a mat, just, getting the proprioception of my body right. But yeah, it's happened to me. And it was because I was just not sending form checks, ignoring warning signs from my body. That's a big thing when you're an elite athlete. Obviously we're used to a level of pain from what we do, but you need to be able to decipher what's good pain and what's, hey, stop fucking doing that pain. Hey, tell your coach about this feeling that you have doing this pain. And then that would lead to like, hey, can you film that for me? And then you see, oh, well, your hips are so jacked up doing that squat, let's fix that. And so, yeah, beware of that.
Yeah. And, you do see this a lot. And it's also in the tier of like, where if you have a very serious goal, you have a very advanced goal, a lot of things you do are quote unquote not healthy to achieve that. And that does happen a lot in the advanced tier. And some people are okay with that, right? Like, athletes will be okay with, I will do whatever it takes to be able to compete at my best, and that's it. And then they'll deal with the repercussions from life. And we do see that a lot, right? Like, in bodybuilding, in every other sport too.
For sure.
I mean, it's hard to find any athletes that compete at a high level in any sport that are not broken, busted, and otherwise miserable after. But, in my opinion, it's better to stay away from doing that and just, perform at an advanced level as high as you can without, or at least minimizing a lot of the negative repercussions that come of it. But, it can happen, like Caileen said, where you can go down that train with the overlifting. You can also do it with over dieting, right? It can become a mindset where I want to get 6-pack lean, or I want to compete and I got to be at condition. And then you think that, okay, just eat less, eat more cardio. And, you can get yourself into the zone where you're doing serious damage to your body, your hormones, your overall metabolism, and your health. And that can't go away for a long time until you go back to the beginning, So in a lot of ways, and, it does happen to everybody, but we'll tell you here, try to avoid it. That's the way you should really try to approach it, Do the best you can. And you know what helps with that? Having a coach too. That really does help, because then you have somebody to say, hey, you know what? Like, this is, you've done something, or you're going to do something. We got to fix something,
You done fucked up.
Yeah. Now it's time to start again. How exciting.
Yes.
And, that's kind of the cycle of fitness. But really what you should always look at whatever level is you got to know where you're at. You got to know where you're at in your body and in your mind, and, your gains making spirit, to know where you are now versus where you need to be and what you can do in the moment. And that's going to be different all the time. That's going to be different in the beginning, the intermediate, and the advanced levels. And also understand that there's layers beyond that. Like, we're not going to go into all that, but like Caileen's an advanced athlete. I would put her in that tier, right? Based on her goals and what she does and how she performs. And yes, gold star for you, Caileen. But truth of the matter is too, there's layers to that. Like right now, she's in improvement mode. Our check-ins are 15 minutes versus when they're in prep. Sometimes it could be an hour and a half. It could be a long time where we're talking about all these different variables going on, all these things. So, right, like she's still in advanced tier doing advanced goal work, but it's not at the same intensity as it would be in a prep. And that would be the same for, an athlete in their off season versus their on season in any other sport. So, like, who's a big athlete right now? I don't even know any athlete names out there.
Well,
in the world.
Just think of the Olympians. Like, honestly.
Oh yeah, Olympians. But I mean, like other sports. Like, give me something from, like, I don't know, baseball, football, something. I don't watch any of this shit. You do though, right?
I watch football, but it's been a while. I don't know.
Well, whatever.
We can say Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, okay, so Aaron Rodgers ain't playing. His off season is different than his on season, right? And they have on seasons, off seasons. So you do have layers to all these, and there's layers to each group. I mean, probably too much to talk about today, but
for sure.
The gist of the matter is you got to know where your intensity is and how to get it, and also identify if it's there, if it's not. And here's also your biggest indicator for all 3 areas. If you made it this far on podcast. Thanks for listening, you guys, by the way. But if you go all the way through and you look at this one variable, are you progressing? There is your answer to if you are on point with what you're doing in any of these 3 tiers. Because in the beginning group, if your progress looks different. Your progress is I'm showing up. I'm getting consistent. I've learned how to use this machine a little better. I just did a squat today correctly. Yay. That's all progress. Okay. So you're winning in that group. Then when you're in the intermediate group, you're like, wow, okay, yeah, I'm getting a program down. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm getting I lost some weight. I'm building a little muscle. That's progress. In the advanced group, do you, like Caileen, does she get better every season? Does she continue to improve placings, or does she get worse, folks? Yet to be, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, that was 2021. Let's just say that. That's when I was like, wait, I need to scale shit back and take some time off. So, yeah.
You see, though, if you're progressing, you are doing then inherently what is working. And if you're not, then you may need to look at all these other variables and figure out whatever level it is your intensity right? What are you bringing?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, man, I think we turned that around and got it out just in time, man.
Yeah, it does seem pretty solid. So anything else to add there, Caileen, or no?
There was something, but I think it's gone now.
It's fluttered away. It's fluttered away.
Yeah,
well, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. Share this one. We'll be back a little bit more routine in with these episodes. And we have another podcast that's coming. Stay tuned for that. Yes. Eventually. It'll probably be out very shortly. I think I said that 6 episodes ago, but it's coming.
I think we recorded it like 6 months ago, so the climate could be a complete. I don't remember when we were.
Yeah, we're probably talking about like, it's June.
It's so cold out right now. Oh, it was winter. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, how was? Yeah, we might have to just start over. We might have to start that one over. But thank you guys for listening. Comment. Let us know what you think. Give us some topic ideas. Let us know where to go with the show. We're definitely going to keep doing it whether or not you listen. So hopefully you do, though. Hopefully you do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bye.